Brussels sprouts are the ultimate ingredient, and in my opinion, an extremely underrated one because they can be used for nearly anything. If you want something healthy, slice them up and make a salad. Want a side dish? Chop them in half and roast them. Want a crisp complement to a sandwich or a fried food? Make a quick slaw. Want a main dish? Fry them and toss them in a sauce, make a breakfast hash, or make a Brussels sprout topped pizza. There's no other ingredient, at least that I can think of, that's as versatile and tasty as Brussels sprouts. Not to mention easy to prepare because you really don't need a lot of ingredients to make Brussels sprouts shine. Just some salt, pepper, and garlic, plus a splash of lemon juice is all you need in most cases. And if you're a somewhat lazy home cook like me, that's exactly what you're looking for. But of course, if you want to take it a bit further, you can do that too. Let's take the salad for example. We'll just chop up a couple veggies to complement our chopped Brussels sprouts, then add some cheese, dried fruit, or whatever else you like, and top it with a quick vinaigrette, and we've got ourselves a pretty killer salad with minimal effort. And Ethan Chlebowski actually made a great video specifically about Brussels sprout salads where he provided an easy formula that you can follow, so I'd recommend you check that video out too if you haven't seen it yet. But if you're not a salad person, no problem, because next we're going to take a look at some sweet and tangy fried Brussels sprouts, which is probably one of the healthier fried foods you can make if you could call any fried food healthy, but either way, they're definitely delicious. So to make them, we'll start with a quick sauce by combining some sesame oil, minced garlic, and optionally some red pepper flakes over a low heat. Then after a few minutes, adding some honey, vinegar, lemon juice, and soy sauce, and of course seasoning with salt and pepper. Then we'll let that simmer for just a few more minutes until thickened, and optionally add in some sesame seeds as well at the very end. Then we'll fry some halved Brussels sprouts at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 3 minutes until they're nicely browned and crispy, and after letting them cool for a few minutes, we'll sprinkle them with a bit of salt and toss them in our sauce. So that's all there is to it, and they actually stay surprisingly crispy, which creates a really nice contrast to the more tender interior. So those are two very different ways to prepare Brussels sprouts, but even that's just barely scratching the surface. You could also roast or saute them, either by themselves or with additional veggies like sweet potatoes, which is my personal favorite way to make them, and I've made a video covering that recipe in the past, so I'll link that below. But you can also make a Brussels sprout slaw, basically just a more simple version of our salad, which you could then use to complement a heavier fried food or a sandwich. And you could even use Brussels sprouts as a topping for a pizza or a sandwich without too much additional effort. Just chop them up and toss them right on top. And as a final suggestion, although there are many more that I couldn't possibly fit into a single video, you could make a Brussels sprouts breakfast hash, which I've also made a video about, although I used potatoes instead of Brussels sprouts in that case, but the general process is exactly the same. And using a cast iron pan to make it, you can achieve a super crispy, charred, and delicious exterior on your Brussels sprouts. So if you haven't seen my most recent video where I talked about why I think every home cook needs a cast iron pan, be sure to check out that video in the bottom right corner of the screen.